What's up, good people? It's your boy Lord. ah, ah. My legs is good though. My lungs is straight. We ready for the 40 this Sunday. Y'all gonna see me break loose. We here though because man, Aaron, we talk offline about stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff happening. First things first, Commanders brought in all of the prospects in the town all at the same time at the top golf demonstration. Uh, a lot of people saying they feel different kinds of ways about it. Oh, it was a bad move, it was terrible, it was a good move. Then come to find out, Jayden Daniels, his camp come out and say they didn't particularly like that they came to their environment that they anticipated coming for, a one-on-one situation. I don't know what transpired at the joint. Is that his sentiments as a result of something that happened at the joint or what? Who knows? He's going to visit with the Minnesota Vikings at
The night
11.
of night.
They picking at 11. Does this is this cause for concern around him and his draft position? The Washington Commanders locking up Jayden Daniels. How do you feel about it, Aaron?
I mean, at first, I didn't really have an issue with the drink. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, they're bringing all the guys in. Um, they gonna be around each other. But then, as you see the way that the league reacts to it, and the way that his agent reacted to it, and clearly he didn't know. It's not like they said, "Hey guys, everybody come. We're gonna bring y'all in together." Apparently, they were kind of blindsided by it. And so, what I think in this scenario doesn't matter. It matters what the player and what the agent thinks if they're gonna try to finagle or um, create an environment where they could kind of slither out and ending up in Washington. Because I heard that before this even happened, that he was trying to avoid Washington.
Now, you this is the time of year where people narratives go around sources. You don't. I think you hear sources more times around the draft time than you hear in any other time in sports. It's talking about like sources and this person say this and
100%.
Adam Scheffler came on and was like y'all should get it Jayden Daniels jersey, and now we're hearing like, oh no, don't jump the gun too fast. Well, he's reporting that this has come out of Jayden Daniels camp. So I to me it just sounds like the Washington Commanders are trying to keep people on their heels or on their toes. I don't know if this is something that you can really read all that much into, because at the end of the day, the Washington Commanders are the ones that too, like they have all the cards at their disposal. Now, could this be something that like deters Washington? I mean, I guess you gotta consider that. But I don't know how much they really looking really like is Drake May really a part of their discussion board? Is JJ McCarthy really a part of their discussion board? Like somebody they gonna pick? I mean, we know for ourselves like it's a clear cut and dry like who's the number one in this scenario. And I'm not convinced that all of the talk is really going to push Commanders off the cheese, dog. It's Jayden Daniels or it's nothing.
And that, you see, it's like I feel like you going back and forth between the logical, simple football reaction
Okay.
and Washington fanboy reaction, because people aren't making this stuff up. We can say sources, but the agent commented on that Twitter post. The
Okay.
agent liked other posts talking about how goofy the decision to bring everybody else in was. So like we can pretend like it's just like, oh,
But
business as
what
usual.
but
Nobody
what
else does
what's
this.
but what's goofy about it though?
It didn't work, and everybody around the league is telling you how goofy.
But when you say it didn't work, I mean like in what capacity does it not work? I mean, for me, if you got a guy and you bring him in and you do the one-on-ones, everybody does the one-on-ones. Everybody has the course answers. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying that you. I personally don't think that the whole bring the QBs in was about like, oh, we need to figure out who's our guy. Like, to me, I don't even think that was really a part of it. I think they were just trying to check a box and say, we just want the guys to come. We've already really kind of homed in on who our guy is. And this is just to check a box. And I think this is a different way to check the box. And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but like, if I know who my guy is, Aaron, I don't really need a whole lot of, I don't need any more confirmations. So who do we got to bring in? Well, we got to bring all these people in to make it look like we interested in them. So let's just bring them all in the same time. And if my objective is to cause ambiguity around the whole process and who we gonna pick and who we really like, this is the best way to achieve that. Because we having this conversation and we on different sides of the coin. Like, I
If
think
you
it's fine. You like, nah, it's not fine
no,
because
but the thing
uh,
is, I was fine with it. But we can't act like the 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 perception of this team is important. Like if this would have been done under Dan, you wouldn't have been saying none of the stuff you're saying now. Nobody who's on the side of Washington now would be saying that. And so like
okay,
we
that's fair. That's
we like
fair.
to pick and
If,
choose when
if it was Dan,
it would be mass hysteria.
we going ham. This is stupid. Why would you do
It's
that? This makes
goofy.
no sense. It's goofy.
And it's like
Yeah,
if you a single
but it's
dude,
not Dan
you're
though.
gonna
It's
take
not
four
Dan.
girls out on the same date. Like, oh, I gotta come to a conclusion. Like it doesn't make sense. You don't get as much time. Like it, it's almost like part of the process, especially you talk about a franchise quarterback,
Mhm.
the guy that you're gonna be married to for the next 10 to 15 years. And
Well,
you bring
no,
him,
no. In this day and age, it don't even last that
come
long,
on, Harold.
dog.
We're not talking about the anecdotal.
The marriage don't even last that long, dog.
If
The
you get it
marriage
right, it's supposed to last that long.
is
If you get it
supposed
right,
to.
if you get it right, this gonna be your guy for 10 years. If
Okay,
he's winning Super Bowls, if
five.
he's doing,
We'll say five. We'll say five. At least five minimum.
Harold, no.
10. That
So
10. You
so
picked the
let me
right guy.
so let me ask you this. That's the point though. Like,
It's a lottery though, Aaron. It's not. Ain't no
then
guarantees.
why does
I
any of
mean,
it matter? Don't bring anybody and just roll the dice if we're gonna treat it that way. If you get the franchise guy, like nobody on here is gonna say if you get your franchise guy, you looking to have him for 5 years. Even in today's time. You're not saying that with Mahomes, you're not saying that with Burrow. Even guys at the top of the draft who don't have great success are going to end up, I mean, have gotten re-signed to deal. They even re-signed Daniel Jones. And so, like, you're not looking for that kind of output. You're looking for the guy. So, even you in this draft where they're saying Caleb
mhm.
is a no-brainer, like guarantee lock generational player, you're saying he's better than him, but let's play these games. Like, stop. We can't have it
Okay.
both
You
ways.
so okay.
We can't
Okay.
have it both ways.
So there, I'm
Either
with
our evaluations work, like we say they do, either we the best at doing this, and he's the guy, and he's going to be elite, or we can't play both sides depending on which side of the argument we want to work. You don't bring in the guy that you're supposed to be married to for the next, let's say, 8 years, two 4-year contracts. Let's say that this is your guy. Why doesn't he get his visit the way every other top quarterback gets their visit
you.
alone to sit with the team, to
Mhm,
go to dinner
mhm,
by themselves, to have
mhm,
them try to sell the world to that person and like, okay, this is like, why try to be goofy when you don't have to be? And perception is already an issue in this town with this team. Like, you're
yeah.
not the Patriots. Belichick probably could have gotten away with something like this. Or even
Mhm.
if Adam Peters was still in San Fran, where they haven't won a Super Bowl, but they still like
Yeah, they
are
got the
winning enough
reputable
to
franchise.
justify.
Yeah,
Why create these narratives when you don't have to? And is this not a distraction?
it
If a
is. So
You know
so
what I
so
mean? If it was
so
a black
so
GM or a black
okay,
head
okay,
coach, we
okay,
wouldn't have been
okay,
talking about
okay. You're right. You're right.
they
So
created this.
okay, okay. So I'll give you that, Aaron. You making a lot of sense now. You done talk me you talk me back into the right spaces. Now I do agree with you that this is unnecessary. You
That's my
created
only point.
unnecessary fodder and talk. You should have just brought the guys in individually, sell them the world. I mean, that's just what you do at this time point of the draft. To just get around that, that's you teetering and tiring on cheap territory. Just bringing them all out,
Bingo.
a
Bingo.
little golf, top golf dinner. That joke, it is cheesy. I'm with you there, dog. These are top
Alabama's
draft
going to
picks.
stake. I bet you he not going to top golf with Minnesota tonight. They
He
gonna have
not
this
coming.
Bama at Mastros or
You
you
already
know what I
know
mean?
what
Like
it is.
stop, dog.
And
Like
you
this
know what they're gonna be saying at that dinner. Hey, you don't want to go to Washington. We'll
You
come up
see
and
why they
get
don't
you.
win?
But they that's why they don't win because they doing goofy stuff like this and they're using it. And like, trust me, you don't want to be there. Matter of fact, I mean, this is just my opinion. We could go ahead and leak a story about you. That probably will push them off, and then we could get you for a little bit cheap.
Oh, the joint is just crazy how many distractions they create themselves. It's not like
It
it's
is,
just
dog.
nobody else is doing this.
With that said, they I don't. So, what about that narrative that this is just in a like with this happening? Does this change their who they put in the crosshairs
It
of who they
can,
want to select?
and that's the issue for me. I'm not saying that 100% does. If you feel like Jaden's the best quarterback on the board, you take the banner. But
Mhm.
I don't trust these banners, and
What
I feel like
about three first round picks to move up to the number two spot? You move down to 11,
11
and at 11, you likely will be looking at Michael
JJ
Penix
McCarthy if
Jr.,
he's there,
JJ McCarthy is in
or
those
Drake
spots.
May.
Or Drake May. Drake May, he'll probably get selected before that because this team's with needs at quarterback before that. So if Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams both off the board, then Drake May, I think just general consensus is the next guy up, even though we all agree he shouldn't be drafted in the first round. But I'm just saying, per the pecking order, you got the Patriots and them, he likely to be one of those spots leaving JJ McCarthy potentially and Michael Penix Jr. Do you take the three first round picks for next year, the year after that, and the year after that for the team to move up to two, and you sitting at 11 looking at Michael Penix Jr.?
And so again, like when you look at this draft and Caleb being consistent number one, he's off the board to Chicago. Like
Okay.
we're complicating something that's very simple. Washington essentially has the first pick in the draft because that part is over with. Caleb is going to the Bears. Washington's on the clock. They get everybody else at their disposal. Now we want to complicate it and move back to 11 where teams know you want to get Penix or McCarthy. So they're just going to trade up to 10 if that's a guy that they want to take. And so you again said Jayden Daniels is better than Caleb Williams, who's a generational player in this draft, who everybody knew was going number one before the season started last year, and through the season the year before. And you're going to move back from taking that guy to pick in the middle of the draft, which if the Vikings get Jayden Daniels with the talent they already have, they're going to be at least 7 wins and probably better every year after that. So to pick in the middle of the draft for 3 years in the future, is this what we talking about? Is this a serious idea that you are trying to justify because you don't trust them either?
I
If they
don't
trade
trust.
back, they failed. If they
I don't
trade back, they
trust.
failed because
I
you
don't
can't
trust.
guarantee getting that quarterback at 11.
You cannot. You cannot. Yeah. It's
It's
less than
easy.
a.
Take the
It's a week.
generational player
It's a week. We're a week away. They have to pick the right guy. It's Jaden Daniels
at
all
two.
day.
Pick the right guy at two and call it a day. You got extra
What
second round picks.
is there
You got extra third round picks.
any offer at that number two spot that you'd be willing?
Mahomes, Burrow, uh, Lamar Jackson. Who else? That's probably it. That's probably it. I wouldn't even take the guy I like in San Diego for the second pick
Herbert,
because they had 4 wins last year with him out there for most of the games. Take Jaden Daniels, call it a draft. I don't care what you do with that. Them 2 second round picks you got.
uh,
Do they got 2 or 3 second round picks?
they got two.
The 2 third round picks. I don't care what you do with none of
Yeah.
the rest of that stuff. Take
Change
the
change
quarterback,
your frank
even
change
if
your
it's not
franchise.
Jaden Daniels. Take the guy that you believe is going to be. I'm not. I know who it is.
Hold
But I'm
on.
saying if they believe it's somebody else,
Okay.
I would respect it more. Take that guy too. I'll mock you for the next 3 or 4 years when it's not working out like every other time y'all have gone against what I said you should do. But do that. I could respect it, even though I'd be like, these Bama's stupid. Like they idiots.
If they don't get Jaden
But
Daniels,
at
they
least they respect the process. It's
okay.
simple. You at two, take the guy you like.
Mhm.
The only way any scenario changes is if the Bears don't take Caleb Williams with one. It would have to be something crazy, like something wild
No,
happened
if
behind
the
the scenes we
Bears
don't
do
hear
not
about.
take Caleb Williams in the one, and they go and mess around and get. Hold on, let me ask this: Is it? Let's just say for hypotheticals. I know we don't do hypotheticals, but we here. Let's say they draft Drake May. They get so afraid and scared that they draft Drake May, and you at number two is Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, Mike. Anybody you want is at your disposal. What do you do?
You asking me?
I'm asking you.
I think this brings me back to the Zion Jaw trade. I think I
Ah,
think they have to take Caleb if he's available, but I'm leaning more on your side now to where you see. I don't want to say the name you're supposed to say,
what's hold on,
but
hold on. What's pushed you over to my side with the Jaden Daniels situation? Like
some
all
of
the
the
way. Because you
some
weren't,
of the
you weren't anti. You just weren't foot like I had Jaden
I just
Daniels as
super
a guy.
sold on Caleb. I just super
Okay.
just the football stuff.
Okay.
The off the field stuff for me, I'm a traditional kind of dude. Like I'm a dude for the 50s.
You're a traditionalist.
I'm a
Hey.
babber for the 50s. So like when you introduce some of this other stuff into the equation, it just for me and knowing this media though,
It's not going,
it just
it's going to produce unnecessary talk.
yeah, more unnecessary foolishness, just like bringing four bammers in for the quarterback business. So right now, I say you got to take Caleb Williams if he's available. But if they, for me, I would be fine with either pick. Like I wouldn't be blown. You might even be able to trade back to three. Now, if you trade back from two to three, somebody want to come up and get Caleb, or I could get with that. You got options once, like because your phone gonna blow up if that happens.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because
Your
Bama's that
phone
didn't
gonna
think
blow.
they could get a quarterback they wanted, now you saying, hold up, it's
And you
two
can pick and
available.
you can pick where you go in the draft, essentially at that point.
I think you could only move back one to guarantee you get one of those guys. Even
Mhm.
if it's one at a time, I might go back to three. If somebody take something other than that, you know what I mean? It's just
Uh-huh.
you got to make sure you get one of the two. But that would be crazy. But it's not gonna happen. Like it's a lot.
What is your faith level that the Washington Commanders make the right decision? Scared like hold on, 100% is you know that they're gonna make the right decision, no doubt in your mind. 0% is like it's 0% chance they go with Jaden Daniels is the right guy too if he's available there. What percentage are you?
You know when
Faith in the regime.
3 days ago when we did the show, I was like, I'm gonna give these Bama's the benefit of the doubt. I don't have a feeling one way or the other. I'm not gonna be like one of them people who, oh, everything in DC has gone bad, so let me like woe is me. Or I'm not gonna be a super fanboy like, oh, Dan's gone, everything's gonna go right. I said I'm gonna wait till the draft and then I'm gonna evaluate what's going on over there. After this fiasco the last day and a half,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Your
concerned. I'm concerned. Because you know how my brain works. To me, I feel like there's something else, like they're trying to
so, so-
justify
so what's your faith
doing
level
something
though? What's your faith level? They get at two. Caleb's gone and Jaden Daniels is there. What's the faith that you got that they're gonna pick Jaden Daniels at
right
number
now.
two?
I'm 50-50,
50%.
50%.
Dog.
Because
That's
I'm trying to
roulette
make it make
table type
sense, and it doesn't
odds
make
right
sense
there.
to me. Like the behavior doesn't make sense, and when the
So
behavior doesn't make sense,
let me say this. Let me say this. I'm 75% faith level that they gonna pick Jaden Daniels. And the reason I'm confident is because I know that everything that happens, right, is not indicative of just the people not knowing what they're doing, so to speak. I think differently about the new regime, specifically, Peters. He's This is his first time really having the reins to be able to like kind of put his stamp on the team and whatever, right? With that, when you knew that stuff, you tried things, dog. Like I'm not gonna fault the man for trying. It didn't work. I think now looking in the hindsight, it's like, oh, this was kind of
I don't think
cheesy.
they
You
would
know what
do
I'm
it
saying?
again. Yeah, I don't think they
I
would
don't
do it
think they
again
would
if
do
they
it
had to.
again. And I think that like, okay, like I gotta allow for the new GM to at least have some abilities to make mistakes. And if you're
One
gonna
hundred
make a
percent.
mistake, if you're gonna make a mistake, do it with this stuff. I don't care. Like, I mean, I care, but do it with this stuff. Don't do it with picking the right guy. So I do understand the level of concern. Like, okay, this is kind of tipping me to think like they don't. It might not all be football, but I'm not there yet, dog. I just want to reserve myself just a hair and not get my, get all discombobulated with the whole situation. I think maybe Jayden Daniels did feel some type of way, and it was unexpected. Maybe they didn't tell them that they
They
were
definitely
doing
didn't
this,
tell him.
and then they just showed up and like, what the heck are you doing here? And they looking at each other, and then when stuff happens like that, you know, you talk about it afterwards. Like, man, these dudes, I showed up, and I'm thinking the jump gonna be. I saw what I'm calling them. Like who does that? You know what I'm saying? And it might just be that. It might not necessarily be all that like goes into it, but just like whatever. Now, I do think, from a strategic standpoint, Vikings gonna probably try to sell themselves a little differently, and play off of that. We had an ex-coach that used to be here, uh, there, so I'm sure he gonna play into that all the way, right? But ultimately, the Vikings or whoever would have to give up a king's ransom to get to our spot to have the ability to pick, and it would not a lot of things would have to happen. And if you're getting a king's ransom for that guy, my thought is you better take that guy, um, unless it's the wrong guy that they're giving you a king's ransom. I just I'll know after Thursday next week if these Bama's mean business or not. And if they pick Jayden Daniels, we know that this team's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. You talk about excitement, Aaron. You talk
So,
about
so my this is the could be the biggest issue for me as
okay.
it relates to this decision is if the decision was made to do this because the owner was being cheap, then that's a problem. That should not drive anything that's going on with the football evaluation process or even the football side. Like just being like, let's bring them all in, you know what I mean, and take them out on the same day. This is the day I'm available down here for this because I don't know how involved he is with Philly and they trying to get in the playoffs and all this kind of stuff and him
Mhm,
moving around. He's obviously more hands off than Dan, apparently. Um, but maybe not. Like if this is the day I'm in town. Let's get them all four here so I can. If that is the driver behind this, because it doesn't make sense. Like it just
mhm.
logically this doesn't make sense.
Now, I think that there could be some credibility to that just as an idea, right? That potentially, but if that is the case,
It's troubling to me if that's what's going on.
that's problematic. That's problematic. Now, if he stay out of the way of the football and that's just some of his stuff, but it's not impacting the football, it's still problematic and concerning. But I'm not as like, I mean, I don't know what it is to be a billionaire. I might be doing the same thing to her. Hey, young, I'm in town. Hey, bring all the members in the joint. Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, listen,
The
I
other
know it's
31
not,
billionaires not doing that.
they
This
not,
is
but
some
I'm
Taylor
just,
Jansis type stuff.
it is. But I don't know. I might just be like, hey, look, I want to kind of shake everybody's hand. I know it's kind of busy, woo, 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 but we looking at all you guys, this, and that. And then the guy I really like, I'm just take him to the side, like, hey, young, get your bags packed. Like, it's gonna be you or something. I don't know.
If Dan had done this because like if this happened because Dan was in town this day,
Hey,
this the
dog,
day he off his yacht. This is day
it'd be
feet is on
untenable.
the ground.
Yeah, untenable, dog. The media would have,
It would be nuclear.
yeah, it would have went nuclear. So, I mean, honestly, this is just indicative of the new regime. All of this grace, because this is what they're getting. They getting grace. It's the
Until
new
Thursday.
regime, dog. It's new people in the building. And we've said it all along. up until this point, we've talked about it for months and months on end, that everything comes down to what they do in this draft. If they do the right thing in this draft, then I'm good. I'm on board. Y'all gonna see me. I'm gonna go upstairs and sew my Washington Commander stuff back together, and then we'll be good. But if they mess this up, I'm out. I'm putting the teams in a hat, and I'm out. We done showed you the
I'm full
game
on
tape.
Pittsburgh. They made some trades that I like. They got Russ and they got my
Yeah,
man
Justin Fields.
Justin
Yeah,
Fields. I'm full on Pittsburgh if they take the
no,
wrong dude.
putting the teams in a hat, excluding Washington,
If they
and
get
trying.
if they end up with Penix, I can live with that. I can live with that. I don't know why you would do that in this situation when you got a guy that's
Okay.
a little bit younger, that doesn't have the
Hmm.
injury history, that's more mobile. Um, but if for some reason they fell in love with Penix and ended up with him after trading back, I would be like, "That's not what I would have done." But the tape says the Bama can play football in the league. Like he should have
Hmm.
been ranked higher than some of these other plants that's in the league.
Hmm.
If they come
That,
away with something else,
so your only acceptable picks is Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams, of course, if he's there, and Michael Penix Jr.
no, I would throw Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I would. I'm saying if you draft a guy that I look at and I say he's not on my first round board, or if you
Okay.
reach to get JJ McCarthy, even if they
Okay.
like, I would be pissed if they took a tackle at that high.
Okay.
Like you really got to get a
I'd be
quarterback.
pissed. I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. I'm
But if
like,
you
yo,
get a Bama that's going to be a Hall of Famer or a perennial All Pro, like I could ultimately live like because 4 or 5 years down the road, if they end up finding a quarterback that's solid, and you got a Bama that's cooking every year, like Justin Jefferson
mhm.
production or other like what's the other Parker, not
Not,
DeAndre,
uh-huh.
no, the one that was in Green Bay. T- what is this
No,
Bama's name?
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. If you end up with somebody like that who is a super cooker,
Hmm.
even if you got like a C+ quarterback,
Hmm.
you live with it. Like I live with it. As long as Jaden Daniels don't end up being Lamar Part Two, or you know
Dog,
what I
he
mean.
might be better than Lamar, dog.
He's a
Tell him,
better passer coming out of college
hey,
than Lamar, and it's
he
not even
not better. He not a better runner.
no.
But the Bama is special though. He's still,
He
and
is.
he still got wheels that like he can get loose much more in my opinion than CJ Stroud. Like
Oh,
that
for
Bama
sure,
got he can get loose.
for sure.
So
It's simple. Yeah, just take Jane. Let me. I'm a retract.
the Penix joint,
No, I
you be
don't
okay
retract.
with
And
it. You
I
be
would be.
okay with it.
I wouldn't be
But
completely off board. Like I'm not
okay,
burning the ship down.
okay.
If they take that guy that's not on our first round board, that's a project quarterback that needs to sit a year at 2, then to me it's business as usual.
Can't do it, dog. Can't do it. They earn. Have faith, my brother. They gonna make the
Not
right.
yet. After Thursday, then we gonna have a discussion about faith levels. But we don't have anything to evaluate to this point other than that goofy decision they made. Like free agency started off real slow, but when you ultimately look at what they did, I'm not
It
upset
was sensible. It
at their
was
free
sensible.
agents.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I
eh,
wish they would have got a couple more pieces that they have the money
Yeah.
to go get. But when you look at the totality of what they did in free agency, it football wise, it makes sense.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I'm off of that. Like I'm not going criticize because when it started, it was crickets out this joint. Niggas was
Hmm.
like, man, we miss Dan. Like we need to splash. At least we was winning the all season. It was cricket. But then when you look at like the Eckler, I like Bobby Wagner, like the
But yeah,
different pieces that they brought in.
yeah,
It's like the linebacker that they ended up bringing in, and
yeah.
guys that when you evaluate or look at their like the valuation, it's like, oh, this
Mhm.
Bama's nice, but he don't have a big name or he's not. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
They
kind of
did
like
some. They did
value
some
add.
work. Yeah, they did some
Yeah, you
work.
could
They
tell
like,
they not just looking at mock drafts. So
yeah,
it's like, okay, the Bama know a little bit. It look like he know football. So it's like,
yeah,
okay, that's progress over what we've seen from Ron, who just had a pipeline to Carolina. Just everybody come on
yeah,
up, come on up.
yeah. So this is the thing. It's gonna be interesting when we get to the draft because one of the things that I like always like to understand or see I just don't. I want to know how much say Cliff Kingsbury got in the whole matter. How much is Dan Campbell saying the whole matter? How much
Dan
is
Campbell.
Peters saying the
Oh,
whole
Quinn.
matter? Yeah, Quint. Yeah, like what does that say? Did the owner have a say in it? Like
I would think he wouldn't have almost any say outside of the quarterback part though, because
mhm,
Dan was a fanboy in a way where he wanted to be like he wanted to be Jerry is his idol. He
mhm,
wanted to be picking Bama. I just don't see that out of Josh Harris, other than
mhm.
the quarterback is the face of the franchise, and you know how they always settle in on this
Yeah, yeah,
familiarity and just like what I mean, that kind of a thing.
yeah,
Like I could see
yeah,
him what like this guy reminds me of my son or my grandson. Like like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I really like him, and you don't know what I don't know what it is, but I just like him. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that
Oh,
kind of a
yeah.
thing.
I hate that dog.
But outside of that, I don't foresee him being an issue. Like, oh, we need this linebacker in the fourth round, or what I mean.
Oh
I
no.
just I don't really see that.
Yeah, we gonna see. This draft pick is going to define the next decade for the team. This
Right.
is like when Dan what's his name? I'm sorry, not Dan. When
Vinny Cerrato?
nah, not Vinny, the last coach, Ron Con
Oh,
Rivera. When he first got here, the decisions he made set the franchise back, though. So this could either be work out well or be terrible. Um, so we gonna see, man. We gonna see. Uh, follow us at OSS98 Other Side of Sports. Subscribe to the channel. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think Jayden Daniels the clear cut number 2 pick? Should the Commanders? Is there any other scenario where you see one of these other guys going, or what are your thoughts? It's your boy Laws Earn. We out. Peace.